Are you literally updating your agenda right now?
No, yes, but not in the way that you would think. I just got, this is not sponsored in any way, but I just finally got a passion planner, and
What's a passion planner?
Passion planner. It's where you
What's a planner?
do agenda think.
Me.
This is me versus Taryne.
I know.
It's where you have your normal agenda life, but then it also breaks down your goals and your passions and how to achieve them month by month, and it's really cool.
I love that.
Yeah. Anyways, I was just using the note section as a note for this podcast.
Okay.
So I wasn't actually sitting here adding in dates, but I
Ashley
did
has
earlier.
Her life planned out in her agenda, and I'm that person that someone will be like, "What's on your hand?" and it's a smudged word, and I'm like, "Shoot, what did I write? What was I supposed to remember?"
It's a very important date that I can't read now.
Yeah. Anyways, that wasn't supposed to be our opener, but
It's a great opener. We can leave it. Leave it in, Mark.
Leave it in, Mark. Okay, so as you know, it's February.
Love month.
And it's a month of love.
I just felt myself look at the camera.
I did too, because I saw you do it.
Love month.
Every time you stare at the camera, I'm like, I suck. And I try to
have it. I'm going to break it.
No, keep doing it. Okay, so I was looking up fun facts about love.
Oh.
Yeah, because I was like, okay, hit me with a random fact.
Yeah.
This one tripped me out.
I can't wait.
Okay. We can sense and are attracted to a person with a different immune system.
Get out.
Right? It goes, let me explain.
Okay. I won't
Please
say
don't.
anything.
Ashley, let me explain. So it says, this finding came about during a study conducted by... I don't know. It's a
Awkward
Swiss name.
for you.
Claude Kind. Claude. Of the University of Switzerland. He had women test subjects smell unwashed T-shirts of men.
Uh-huh.
And they consistently preferred the smell of the man's shirt whose immune system was different than their own.
What?
Apparently, the same things were found in rodents.
I wonder, so the exact...
Rodent T-shirts?
No. So the thing I was going to say was that could be an innate, animalistic thing so that your children...
Has one parent, because if something's going to kill you, I got to survive.
Yeah. Or just it gives them the best of both. Possibly, not best of both, but maybe they could pick and choose.
But it could totally be a survivor thing of hey, if you're gonna die from this, you're not gonna take me down with you.
A good pair. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Interesting.
I'm shocked. I bring it. I'm the one who brought it, and I'm like, I am shocked.
That is weird.
Okay, that's all I am.
It's a fun.
Oh wait, I've always wanted to do this. Mark, roll the music.
Roll the intro.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome back to Unsolicited Advice.
Welcome. I am Taryne.
I'm Ashley.
And we're so excited to be here with you. Me and Ash, I feel like the last few episodes we've come in to record, we've dragged our butts in here.
Yeah, January was rough.
We've been tired, moody.
I have been moody.
I wasn't going to call it. I wasn't going to say it.
It's fine. I'm aware. It's a new month. It's a new me.
It was funny because I sat Ashley down and I was like, hey, so you know how I'm a feeder, I feed off of people's energy. And I was like, it's kind of hard with me when you don't talk to me for 15 minutes and then we come in and then we talk to each other, because then I just feel like I need to catch up.
But in my head, I'm save it all for the podcast.
But that
I'm
totally makes sense.
And I'm letting it explode when I get in here.
Yeah,
it's a thing that us painfully shy people do.
It's a strategy.
It's a smart tactic.
But today, we both are just in good moods.
I also had pre-workout and coffee today, so come at me. Roll. It's just gonna roll right off.
What was that?
Just gonna roll right off. Okay, when you stop.
As you guys know, it's February.
Thank God.
We're so excited for this month.
January took forever.
I've been digging this February series just about love. It's fun when the month, it's December, Christmas, January I felt was bettering ourselves, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't really know what the rest of the months are gonna look like, But that's kind of fun. We can do whatever we want.
Right.
And I think my favorite thing about this whole thing is that we started February with how not to get killed. So we taught people how to protect themselves before they fall in love.
Right. Exactly. Safety first.
Safety first, always.
It comes down to that for pretty much everything.
Yes. Always.
So, yeah. Pumped for that.
Yeah.
Safety.
If you guys do not follow us on our socials, primarily I would say
are you
Instagram.
doing with your lives?
Yeah, you suck. But
That was so mean.
I know. It came out so
I feel like they knew I was being sarcastic, but they couldn't tell with you.
So was I.
Tone.
So our Instagram, I would say if you're going to follow us on anything, definitely Instagram, because that's where we're the most interactive.
It's the juiciest.
It's juicy. And we will tweet out, dang it, we will Insta out. I don't know. How do you say that? DM out? I don't know.
Post.
We will
It's just post for anything.
We'll post stories or posts that will ask questions, but like a lot of times it's like the day of, right? Like we're like, hey, what's your most awkward, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then we use it for the episode. So
Yeah.
if you guys want to be interactive with us,
Yeah.
definitely go there first.
But this does require like some form of like like commitment.
Yeah.
So you might want to like put our notifications on or
gosh, yeah.
something because if it's last minute, we need your answers. If you want to be involved, then you need to know when we post. So
Yeah.
if you're the dedicated fam, put us on notifications.
Yeah, put notifications on.
It's a smart move. It's a smart thing to do.
It's really smart. So smart. So, anyways, we said, what is your most awkward date situation?
Yeah.
And I feel like this is fitting because I'm sure a lot of people last week went out
Had a
on
lot of
Valentine's
awkward
Day,
ones. Mhm.
had a lot of awkward stuff. We didn't. We had
It was a
food.
Galentine.
and food.
Uh-huh.
But
Better than my last Valentine's.
What'd you do last Valentine's? Oh, tea. She put her
Sip my
pinky
coffee.
out. Woo! T-E-E. What did I do last Valentine? Nothing. Okay.
You had a Galentine's again.
I did with who?
Alicia. You went out
Oh
to
my
dinner.
gosh, me and Lita went on a date. It was great. We missed you.
I missed you guys. Yeah.
And he gone. So
He gone. Yep.
R.I.P. Okay. What are we talking about?
We asked
I
You guys
wish
for
we need a
awkward
compilation of just me going, what are we talking about? Did I
what
say
are
my
we
story?
doing? Is it your turn?
Yes, we asked for awkward situations. Do you want to just like ping pong? I think I have
Absolutely.
like 3. Did you?
Yeah, I can do 3.
Okay. Well, I just want to start with the amount. This is specifically Addie Cooley, but because we said the most awkward thing on a date, and she said the fact that I've never been on one. LOL.
I was just
So
gonna say
many
I'm reading
people
so many.
We're like, oh, the awkward thing is I don't date, and which I can totally
Yeah.
relate to.
Which it
But-
makes you feel better because like someone messaged us a while ago, I think towards the beginning, and said something about having never gone on a date. They were in high school and they felt weird about it. They were very insecure about
Yeah.
it. And I was like, girl, that's normal.
No, I think it is normal. And I think the reason, like, no one talks about it because it's like this shameful thing. Like, oh, if you don't have a man or you're not dating, then
Yeah.
like something's wrong
but
with you.
it's this quote unquote shameful thing because the single people don't talk about it.
Yeah.
No
And
one
I'm
wants to
telling
talk
you,
about it. But
every
like,
single person on here that sent us something that was like, oh, it's awkward that I don't
Yeah.
date, they're all adorable.
like I'm reading them all right now. I've never been on a date. Haha, single ready to mingle. Hashtag single forever. Hashtag single Pringle.
Ooh, I like that one.
The fact that I've never been on a date is awkward enough. Like there's so many of them.
No shame, girls and boys. Okay, ready? Go
All
ahead.
humans alike.
All humans alike.
Okay. This person, Nick Gatoral, I think, said when your date is boring and his friend is much more interesting, coffee with him instead.
Shut up.
Oh,
Dang,
good for
savage.
you.
Love that.
If it's not there, it's not there.
Yeah.
And you're only saving him time.
I don't know if that's ever. I think I've done where I've like went into a new group of people.
It must have been like a group situation.
Yeah, and liked one guy, and then literally like the bench warmer gets on the court, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, he got game. And you're like, I'm gonna switch to him.
And you're just sitting there, the guy's talking at you, and you're literally looking away.
Yeah,
That's
and your
bad.
friends
That's
are
a
like,
sign.
wait, I thought you like so and so, and you're like, not
Not no
anymore.
more.
That was last week. Okay, this is from Picture Too Perfect. Farted while sitting on his lap because he playfully dropped, in quotes, dropped me. We've been dating for 10 years now. I totally know she. You know when you like,
Yeah. Oh
she
my
freaking
God.
tense.
That's funny. That's funny. Callie Becca said, I threw up after kissing on our 4th date. Now we're engaged.
But why? Why'd she throw up?
I don't know. She
She was
doesn't say.
nervous.
She didn't say.
We need
After
clarifiers.
kissing on our 4th date. I want to know how soon after kissing.
Yeah, like was it like kiss?
Was it like
hit?
kiss blah, or was it like kiss, excuse me, I have to go this way and then throw up, you know?
Yeah. Oof. That's intense. That little detail could change the
Everything.
entire.
Yeah.
Yes.
Callie, I need you to
Callie, please
DM
write
us
us in.
again. Callie Becca, please.
Calling
Thank you.
Kelly Becca, please report. Whitney Elliott, I think, went to the movies with my first boyfriend, my BFF and her boyfriend. So like little double date action. My BFF and her boyfriend made out the entire time. I've had that happen before where like my friend would like start hooking up with a guy, and then when you're with a guy too, it's so awkward because you know that he's like, okay, so like, are we gonna? And I was
So
like,
you wanna?
no.
So you wanna? Yeah. I think that's such a thing though. That's like the Notebook. You know, it's just like, it's one of those things. You go on a group date, like there's always one couple that's more into it than the other.
Yeah.
Or you're just on different like levels in the relationships. It's just one of those things.
There was one, remember that one year at Coachella, you like hit it off with that guy, and then I had to like hang out with his weird friend the whole time.
And you always bring that up, but you forget that we had a very similar situation happen where the roles were reversed, Taryne.
He didn't have a weird friend. You were just by yourself.
I was just by myself, which was just not anywhere near as fun.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah. We're just going to brush right past
He
that.
had a water, what are those called?
He had a Camelback. One of those water backpacks. And he was just like, just chilling, watching the show and drinking his water.
And I was like,
this
you'll
guy.
do.
Okay,
shoot,
Mallory.s says for her awkward date situation, mall kiosk guy asked how long we've been married. We were 15. It was our first date.
Oh my gosh.
I also
15.
Like, I understand it's kind of awkward, but like I kind of love when people say stuff like that because it's like, oh, you think we look good together?
Yeah,
like that's a compliment. That
and
means
it's good
we
to
flow
see
really well.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Or it's good to see their reaction.
Yeah,
because if they're like, oh god,
do they freak out and say, oh no?
Yeah.
Then it's like, oh shoot.
Or like I like the guys that'll just be like playful and be like, oh yeah, we've been married for 15
Just
years.
go
You know
with
what I
it.
mean?
Yeah, that's a good. I love that.
It is interesting though when people ask questions like obviously she's 15, like not old enough to be married. I don't know what the rules are.
Maybe she looks older than she is.
Maybe, but I've been asked before if like the kids I nannied were my kids, and I think I told the story before. There was the 2 kids I nanny, which are like I definitely could not have given birth to them, and their 2 friends that were completely different ethnicities.
Yeah.
So I was like, girl, you really think like I popped all of these children out like with all different
How
fathers?
old were you at the time?
I was like 23, 24.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4? Nah.
Yeah.
I can see someone saying something with
they were
one
like in
before.
high school. I was like, what?
Mm.
I would have to have been like 10. I don't know. But anyways, those were great.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I
Just
love
a little
interacting with
snippet.
you guys in that way. It's so fun.
Yeah.
Feels like you're here on the podcast with us. Having a jolly
Speaking
old
of
butt.
awkwardness,
Awkward.
do you have a turn it up? I didn't get one.
Ha!
You have one?
I have one.
Oh, I'm excited.
Guys, I'm so pumped to read this off to you. I found this a while ago, and basically, like, I don't have a great system for how I like store everything.
Yeah,
but
me
I
neither.
knew that I had saved a tearing it up from a while back, and I was like, the next time like we need one, I'm gonna have it on my phone ready to go. Today's my day.
It's her day.
I'm so excited. So yeah, let's start the whole episode off with a tearing it up. If you guys do not know, we have a tearing it up segment called tearing it up, and it means basically that you could send in any awkward, embarrassing story. Because Taryne here has had a lot of them.
Yep.
She shared some. It became its own entity. This one is titled "An Anesthesia Tearing It Up."
Anesthesia.
An anesthesia tearing it up.
Oh, like
anesthesia.
under anesthesia. Oh gosh, I'm excited for this one.
It starts off, she just gets right into it. So last week I got knee surgery. It was an ambulatory one. So the same day you get it done, you're supposed to go home. The anesthesiologist told me that A spinal anesthesia similar to an epidural would be better for these kinds of surgeries because it is less invasive and I would be able to leave the hospital way sooner with a general anesthesia than with the general anesthesia. He gave me 2 options and somehow I was brave enough to get the local one, the spinal one. The surgery went well, thank God, and I woke up back in my hospital room. I had some kind of allergy from some of the medication, so they gave me medicine for that, and one of its side effects is sleepiness, so I was instantly knocked out. A warm sensation in my lower back woke me up. ... Yes, in all caps. I peed myself. Turns out you can't control your bladder with a spinal anesthesia. Oh, my dignity. I had to call the nurse for her to help me change my gown and the bed sheets. But wait, it doesn't stop there.
Oh, no.
As soon as the nurse was done helping me, the doctor entered the room and began explaining what happened during surgery, how it went, and everything. ... But I was completely flat on my bed, so I adjusted it and pulled myself to be in a seated position near him and, of course, make better eye contact when it happened. As I was sitting, I pull out the most
Oh, God.
sonorous, 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 right?
What? Do you hear crinkling?
That's so funny.
Is your mic on, Mark? You want to talk to us?
This granola bar is delicious.
I literally was looking behind me because I thought something was in the room.
I was so into
funny.
this. I
I'm
didn't
sorry.
hear it until you said it. And then I was like, what? When it happened, as I was sitting, I pull out the most sonorous and loud fart ever. The doctor and nurse keep talking to me like it never happened, but I was already as red as a tomato. I can't. Advice: think twice about spinal anesthesia. It's it has consequences because now I'm the fart girl from room 217.
Aww.
And the worst thing is tomorrow I have a checkup with that same doctor. Thanks for reading. I love your podcast and enjoy every bit of it. You guys may not realize it, but you impact my life in so many different ways. I could not thank you enough. Keep being awesome. Love, Anne, aka Fart Girl.
Aw, poor thing.
That's 2 fart stories today.
Dude, it happens, man.
I
Wait,
mean-
I looked up that word.
Sonorous?
Wait, let me see how you say it. Hold on. I want to make sure this is loud so they can hear it too.
Sonorous.
Sonorous. Dang
Not
it. Sonorous
sonorous.
sounds like a dinosaur.
Oh, stop it. I get it. It says capable of producing a deep or ringing sound.
Sonorous.
So good.
Sonorous sounds like some kind of like...
Sonorous. Like a type of dinosaur?
Yeah.
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 Cool.
So that was
That
our
was
tearing it up for
great.
today.
Dude, but that's the thing, like with stuff, especially in those fields, like those doctors were probably like,
They
oh,
probably
poor honey,
have
because they
seen
see it all the
so
time.
much worse.
Yeah.
But like peeing your pants, that would throw me off too. So, you know, like it was just like one after another. So I'm
Especially
sorry.
because
Poor
like
thing.
you don't know it's gonna, like it's one thing where you're like, I'm gonna pee my pants and it
your
happens.
body is literally like your brain's disconnected from what's happening in your
but you're
body.
just like, why am I? Oh,
You're just like, was
Oh.
that me?
Yeah.
I'm sure the doctors are like, oh, honey, we've seen worse.
it's, yeah. Oh God, I can't imagine what they
Ew,
go through.
I don't want to think about it.
Okay. Well, let's take a short break
Let's
and
do it.
then get into the stories. We tried to keep up with the whole like love theme because, you know, that's what we offered you guys for this month. February. Except, well, still, we started with protection. That falls under like, if you're going to go on a date, you should be aware of how to protect yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah. So we're going to take a break and then we'll come back with our first story, which is titled Dangerously in Love with Love.
Ooh,
It's a
great
good one.
title.
Okay, BRB.
Taryne,
Yeah, oh, yes.
what's your favorite part of your bed?
Ooh,
The pillow,
honestly,
the comforter.
can I finish?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I was just giving you ideas.
For me, I get very claustrophobic. So it has to be like the comforter has to be like the perfect, like how it feels, how it wraps around, that type of thing. So that for me is the most important.
You're in luck.
Oh, am I?
Buffy has got your back. They've got all the things, all the bedding things. It's not just the comforter, it's everything. And they have a cool eucalyptus material that is earth friendly and cruelty free. You will have less sleepless nights and less sweaty nights because the eucalyptus
Game
is so
changer.
breathable. It's fantastic. It's all completely recycled, and the eucalyptus fiber can regulate the temperature that keeps you cool and comfortable all night long.
Like amazing.
I feel like I have to end it with like all night long.
All night long. Our announcer voices.
Uh-huh.
I'm just going to spit some facts at you guys. They are 100% plant-based. So the design makes it very breathable. So it controls your temperature. No more
Love
night
that.
sweats. It's made from eucalyptus and is softer than cotton. And like legit, it's so soft.
It's very soft.
So soft.
We're fans.
Cruelty-free, big one. Hypoallergenic, big one. And, you know, the breeze brings wellness to bed. So why not choose?
The breeze does?
Did I read
The
that?
breeze.
The breeze. I
The
said
breeze
it right.
brings wellness
Why
to
not
bed.
choose 100% plant-based bedding that's better for you and the freaking earth?
Yes.
Okay?
I mean,
it's
why
not
not?
about you.
Yeah.
It's about the
Calm
earth.
down. Stop being so selfish. You can try a comforter in your own bed, guys, for free. If you don't love it, return it at, get this,
No cost.
no cost. What the hell?
That's amazing.
Get a comforter.
Get a comfort.
Get a comforter. Basically, guys, we always think of you when it comes to these kinds of situations. For $20 off your Buffy comforter, you can visit buffy.co, C-O, that's buffy.co, and enter ADVISE, A-D-V-I-S-E.
Again, $20 off your Buffy comforter. Visit buffy.co and enter ADVISE.
A-D-V-I-S-E. You're welcome.
Speaking of Lost, the safety episode,
Uh-huh.
we had a DM from, I don't think it's anonymous, Lexi Danielle. And she said, hey guys, I'm listening to the safety episode and I have another safety tip that my mom gave me. I thought this one was super interesting.
Ooh, yeah.
So, not sure if you've heard this one, but if you're in an Uber and you feel like the driver is sketchy or they have you trapped, or like any car, she says take the headrest out of the passenger seat and use that as self-defense. For example, the pointy the metal parts that goes into the seat could be used to jab the driver or to break the window to get out. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
That's so smart.
That is really smart.
Like, just reach up in front of you.
Yeah. And also,
You know?
like, one of those things to an eye.
Oh,
Done.
he don't.
Done.
Or he can't see. Both are, gives you enough time to.
Blinded by the light.
Okay. Well,
How are you not finished with your coffee yet?
I don't know. I've just been sipping.
It's
slowly.
it's so full and mine's gone. Like, I wish I had more.
I probably have just been talking too much.
I mean, that's what I'm doing too.
What I do too. Sometimes I lick it. Sometimes
Continue
I listen.
with that story, please.
Sometimes I listen back and I'm just like, Taryne, shut up. Like, I'll just be like, blah, 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 blah. And you're like trying to get a word in and I just freaking keep going.
That's just the 9 life. We're used to it.
Hey, but there's been times I'm like, Ash would not let me into that
I
story
don't know.
at all.
I don't know.
I was
Prove
trying
it.
to be like,
Prove it.
and I nice. Okay. Dangerously in love with love.
Ooh.
Hey, Taryne and Ashley.
Hey.
Notice. Oh, my Siri turned on. Notice said, hey, Taryne and Ashley.
It's because you said hey.
I said, hey.
That's Siri.
And then it went away
yes.
because I didn't say Siri. Yeah. I love your podcast so much. Y'all are both hilarious and beautiful inside and out.
Stop it.
Girl. Thank you. I looked at the camera when I said that. So, Olivia, if you watch our YouTube, that was to you. Girl. Okay. Oh, her name's Olivia. I admire you both for helping so many people who might not have someone they can go to for advice, and I'm grateful for the weekly laughter.
I love a good laugh too.
We are hilarious.
I feel that. We're funny.
We are hilarious. My name is Olivia. You can use my name. Thank you.
Hi, Olivia.
Because I already said it. I am newly 24 and have never dated or even really been in a quote unquote talking situation with a guy. Before y'all repeat all the wonderful advice you've given to single ladies before myself, let me preface more specifically my question and provide context. Despite being an Enneagram 1, a person who is usually practical, I am a complete and total hopeless romantic. You guys should know this by now, but me and Ash are obsessed with the Enneagram.
Big fans. Big fans.
Do you want to break down a 1 for those who aren't familiar with it?
Yeah. Basically, the Enneagram, I just want to preface this. I am not a professional in any way, but I do read about them a lot. And basically, the Enneagram is 9 different types of personality types. They're all interconnected and they're all interwoven. So you can be a number, but have a specific type of another number when you're in a healthy place, and you can have a negative type of another number when you're in a negative place. And the 1, I'm actually a 9, which means I'm at the top of the Enneagram and I'm right next to a 1. So I am a 9 wing 1 because I have a more tendency to lean towards the perfectionist side than I do the controversial
Challenger
8. So I actually feel you. I'm kind of slightly a 1. But the 1 is the perfectionist, and they love rules. They love to do everything and anything at their absolute best. So they're the type to say yes to everything and put too much on their plate, and then get so angry and get so angry if they don't do it literally to the best of their abilities.
Yeah.
So usually the older they get, the more they realize that they have to say no to things so that they can actually find fulfillment in completing a full task.
Interesting.
But the thing with the Enneagram is, and I was just telling Taryne this earlier today, we were talking about it, is that we're all a little bit of all the numbers. You're not just a perfectionist and not the romantic 4.
Yeah.
So you can be a 1 and still have a romantic side. That's not normal. I'm a 9 and I can still be controversial, even though I hate it. I can still do it.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's just what I've learned the most about 1s. But ones love structure, and they love to perfect everything. They would rather do it themselves than have to hire a team. But they can become good team players and just stuff like that. But we love 1s.
Yeah.
1s keep us accountable.
I was going to say,
1s are always on time.
1s.
They're dependable. If you have something that needs to get done ASAP, a 1 will get it done and make it look perfect.
Yeah.
So we love a good 1.
Love that, Ash. Thanks for that breakdown. She continues, I have a slew of dresses in my closet I've bought that are proposal worthy. And she put in parentheses, why am I like this? I occasionally dance around my room in long flowy gowns and listen to I Get to Love You. Have you heard that song?
No, but I danced in my room in gowns too. So.
Yeah. That's actually the song. I don't even know how you say it. Ruel?
I always said rule, but I know I'm wrong. So it's probably
I feel
Ruel.
like it's Ruel. That song is so freaking adorable. That was actually the song that Vanessa, my sister-in-law, walked down the aisle to.
Yeah.
And the words, and just knowing she was thinking about my brother when she was listening to that song. I was literally in the car. She showed me and I was ugly crying. It's so cute. Anyways, she dances to that song. And I'm so happy I annoy myself. Or I'm so sappy I annoy myself. Just the thought of falling in love brings tears to my eyes. What can I say? I'm a romance script writer's dream. That's funny. Since I know this is all a lie, I've taken measures to try to chill out. I've forbade myself from making a wedding board on Pinterest. I fight every urge to imagine my wedding with a dude every time I see someone cute, and have been trying to live in the present and not fantasize about marriage all day. Do you do that? I've done that before. I'll interact with a guy and I'm planning our future, and then he walks away and we don't speak, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I had a whole conversation when I was young, when I was in high school, about how I have a daydreaming problem. But it doesn't always have to be with guys. It'll just be about anything.
Yeah.
Someone walks across my sight, or even a dog, or a career thing, my mind will just run with it, and I will sit there quietly and completely entertain myself, creating this whole fantasy life in my mind. And someone will be there talking to me. I did this to Taryne earlier, and I did not hear a thing they said because I was so engrossed in this very elaborate story happening in my head. It's like I'm dreaming, literally. Like it's daydreaming, but it's literally like I'm having a dream right then and there, and I have to pull it back.
Yeah.
And refocus.
My worst time of that, where I'm like, oh my gosh, you need to snap out of it, is when I'm on my way to something. So if I'm like on my way to an event or a hangout or whatever, I like will play through in my mind what I would love to happen, and then it never fails. I'm always like disappointed after, because like I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna see him, he's gonna like talk to me, it's gonna be like this and this, and then I go and like that guy's not there, so then I'm like, this is not what I planned.
You're like, this sucks. I'm leaving.
So I've tried to like really work on it, and like she said, like be just like in the present. Like this is life. It's happening.
Yeah. Well, I think that the only downside of this is it's very unrealistic.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Like it's
completely.
good. It's good to daydream, and it's good to like think out futuristic stories for yourself and like plan according to that and to have dreams.
Yeah.
Like that's fantastic. But the truth is, like, it's not
Yeah.
going to happen that way. So you have to let yourself like fantasize about however you want your future to be, but then bring it down and be like, okay, that's not true.
Yeah.
Here's real life. And that's where it's, you have to find that healthy balance, because that's difficult.
No, it is hard.
Especially when the dream's a lot better than what you got going on at the time.
I've been married 30 times. Just kidding. I haven't allowed myself to have a serious crush since I was 19. I'm guessing because like she knows she's like this, so she gets too intense. That's what I'm guessing. For the record, I have other priorities in my life, which I spend appropriate time pursuing for the most part too. I know I sound like an airhead, but women are multifaceted. Amen, she says. Oh no, I put that. Amen. I put that to say. See what happens when I actually like type it out? I typed in my own note saying amen, but I said that she said it. I was trying to be organized. Anyways, I'll dream about my wedding for hours, but have more than just hearts floating around in my brain. I'm not complaining about being single. I don't want to rush into anything and believe God's timing is perfect. I just feel like I'm setting myself up to be let down. My question is, how do I guard my heart once I do start dating? I don't want to lower my standards, because wanting a mature, attractive, funny, and loyal, godly man doesn't sound like too much, especially since I consider myself a complete and totally high maintenance package or catch. But I also know that due to my lack of experience, I could fall hard easily and end up heartbroken because things aren't as I dreamed. Thanks for reading my long message and for any advice given should you choose to read this. XOXO, Olivia.
Wow.
I freaking love how vulnerable she was. Like, those are all the things that as girls, like, we kind of like try to keep our like romantic. I'm sure it's the same for guys. Like, they're like, everyone's not supposed to be so like mushy and like, like I have a Pinterest board of my wedding, which I do. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you're told to just like seem content and seem independent and you don't need anyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I love the fact that she's like writing and just being like vulnerable about it. Was there anything you wanted to say? Just
I think it's really fascinating. I think everyone is a romantic to a degree. I think it's very interesting hearing different people's levels of that, because like I can't wait to be married either, but I'm nowhere near like that excited to get married or for like my actual wedding, but there's nothing wrong with either one.
Oh no,
like,
I agree
at all.
I agree.
So but I think it's just really fascinating hearing how much like people are different but the same, you know, because like I've dreamt about my wedding too, but hearing her talk about it, you can tell like it's this like much deeper desire that she has for it. The only thing I could think of is that I would agree. I think you could be setting yourself up for failure if you're not actively, and I feel like I say this for almost every story we get, but actively pulling yourself back and down to earth. Yeah. Because like I mean, I've gone to a handful of weddings this last year. Just this is just completely random, where so many things went wrong. And that's where the brides start freaking out. Yeah. And you have to remember, like what
Like what's important, like you get so fixated on the details being
Yeah.
exactly how you imagine that you forget like life is messy and things happen.
Yeah.
And it's the bigger picture is like, I'm getting married today. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter if like my flowers are off or you know what I mean?
Exactly. I was just telling a friend about my cousin's wedding a couple years ago. The florist just got the dates wrong.
Oh, seriously?
Completely got the dates wrong. And that's a thing. Like people are still it's a wedding, but there's a lot of businesses
Yeah,
happening
a
and
lot of
like
moving pieces.
mistakes happen.
Oof.
And you're the idea that you're going to have this perfect wedding, it's very unrealistic.
Or perfect relationship.
It's not going to
perfect-
happen.
Yeah.
I want to say probably, but like the truth is it's not going to be perfect.
Yeah.
So daydream about your wedding, but remind yourself that it probably won't be like that. Daydream about your future husband or boyfriend or whatever. That's fine. I actually encourage that. I think you should know exactly what you want in a guy.
Yeah.
There's no point in lowering your standards because you shouldn't.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't want to. I'd rather be very picky and only date a few people than date a ton of people trying to find out like who I want,
Totally.
you know? So I think have those boundaries, have those standards and don't drop them for anyone. But also like be open. If there's someone there that is meeting your main core values, then like, give them a chance.
Yeah.
But it's just, I think it's a constant action of daydreaming and figuring out what you want and then also just being realistic.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do, but you seem like a smart cookie. I feel like you can do
Yeah.
that. I'm still working on it and I'm 30, so
Girl, yeah.
Ooh.
It's funny. So, I mean, I mentioned sometimes about like my job, but a huge part of my job is doing observations on children. That are like showing signs of stuff, whatever. And one of the things, every time I do an observation or there's like a concerning behavior, I always look at it in like different areas. One of them is I always look at the frequency of like, how often is it happening? Is it increasing this specific behavior? The other thing is I watch them, and when they're doing a behavior, I take a step back and look around the room. Like I take a glance, because sometimes if you're like focused in solely on something, like that's all you're looking at, something can seem way bigger or more dramatic than it is. Because if you step back and you look around the room and you're like, oh, every other 3-year-old is doing the exact same thing. So like it still is age appropriate. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it just reminds me of like this, because I feel like right now, like you're fixating on this thing. And it sounds like it's increasing and getting more and more to the point where you're not even allowing yourself to have a crush. And then you also are like Ash said, like you're kind of like, that's all you're thinking about. And she said like she's career oriented. She has like other things she's passionate about. But I think it is just taking those times of like watching yourself and being like, okay, I literally all day was thinking about this. And so that's concerning. Like I need to like take steps to like, how to center my mind on something else, or a mantra to give myself of like right when I catch myself thinking about it, being like, you mentioned God a few times. So like even saying like a quick prayer and just being like, okay, God, like I trust you. I'm giving this to you and I'm moving on. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But like, it's just like in everything we do in life, I think we need to think about that. Like how frequently is this going on? And then if I stop and I talk to my friends, I look around me like, what are other people experiencing in this too? Or what have other people gone through that I can like kind of compare what I'm going through and either feel like, oh, okay, this is normal, or say like, oof, like I think I need help in this area. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And if you think about it, like you're so excited and obsessed with the idea of getting married, but you won't let yourself have a crush, but you can't get married until you crush on someone.
Yeah.
And I understand, and I actually really admire you realizing how you can like really like run with the crush idea.
Yeah.
But I would hold yourself back from having crushes. But if there's a guy out there that you like you also need to give that a chance to blossom.
Yeah.
And find out if it's him or not, you know? So, and that doesn't even have to be about guys. Like what if this could be, I think this could potentially be a distraction from a lot of things.
Yeah.
For example, like I could watch TV all day long for weeks.
Yeah.
And I would be fine. I don't have a TV in my room for a reason.
Yeah.
Because I would do nothing. Like I would not get anything done. So I mean, I'm not trying to compare it exactly because it's a very different thing. But if you are thinking about this constantly, like where else could you be putting that passion, and where else could you be putting this like really creative mind in your work life or in your family relationships or in your friendships? And like maybe those are suffering a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they are, but you might want to look at them and just see if they are.
Yeah.
Because you might not even realize that they're struggling. You know what I
Totally.
mean? Like it could be a real problem if you let it.
Yeah. And if you're struggling, like don't watch like sappy romance movies all the time or listen to those songs. Like you've got to feel where you're at. And if you feel like it's something that's like literally taking over your mind, then like the actions you do in the rest of your life, kind of like what you were saying, like those do affect where you're at.
Yeah.
And the only other thing I want to say, just because I think you're going to be fine.
Yeah,
I really do.
100%.
I think right now you're so focused on not being the way that you are that you're like creating these like walls around you trying to like contain yourself. And I think really like you need to just like give yourself a little bit of freedom.
Be free.
But also just be conscious of where you're at.
Yeah.
But I will say that I definitely fell into this with I had been single, you know, like all through, I hadn't had a boyfriend all through high school and into college. And when I did start dating someone, because I am the type of person that like falls hard and fast, when I did start dating someone, I was so excited to just be in love that like I didn't pay attention to any of the like signs or that the relationship wasn't healthy, things like that. Like I kept it all to myself, and I was so just enamored with like him and wanting to be a girlfriend and wanting to be like whatever I could to like make him want to be with me, that I was willing to ignore every red flag because I didn't want to lose that.
And almost conform for
completely
him.
conformed into what he wanted, which I've talked about like many times on this podcast. But like that's one thing I think it is a normal fear to have, and I think it's good that you're thinking ahead. But I think how you combat that is you find the people in your life that you really trust and you sit with them and talk to them about everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like say like, okay, I like this guy. We went on a date, and you know, pay attention. Like, was there any moment where you were kind of like, oh, I don't know how I felt about that?
Yeah.
And talk to your friends about it and be like, hey, this happened. What are your thoughts on it? You know, because I think when you do become so obsessed with just being in love and whatever, you fall into that trap of ignoring red flags that you see from the beginning. You know what I mean?
And that's scary.
Yeah. So I would just say, let yourself have some freedom. You're at 24, like that's a prime age to like
great age.
Start exploring and like meeting people and whatever. But draw your line of like, I'm not going to say I like him until he passes A, B, and C, you know?
Yeah.
And then also bring people in your life that you can talk to and make sure that you're not being blinded by anything.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I think that's great. I'm excited for you.
You got this, girl. I'm a
Whoever
romantic
you end
too.
up with is going to be lucky.
Oh, yeah. Seriously, like
Shoot.
when you do find that person, you're going to shower them with so much love. You're a catch. We're all
You're a
catches. I'm a catch.
You're a catch. We're all a catch.
You're supposed to say, I'm a catch.
I'm a catch.
Okay, good. All right. Cool.
Cool.
Well, thank you so much, Olivia, for writing
Thanks,
in.
Olivia. Thanks for sharing and being
On
vulnerable.
to Ashley's story.
My
I'm
story.
ready. Do you have a title for us?
I do have a title. Let me pull it up really quick. The title is My Dream Guy, Now Forever Undateable.
Why? What do you
Bum,
do?
bum, bum. We don't know until after the break. Okay. Bye.
Oh, God.
Hey everyone, it's Ashley here, and I know me and Taryne like to joke around a lot about how much we enjoy true crime and all those scary things, but the truth is we're actually terrified of all of those things happening, and we believe that security is important and keeping yourself safe is even more important. Did you know that every single night local police departments across America receive hundreds of calls from burglar alarms? The vast majority of the time they have no idea whether the alarm is real. All the alarm company can tell them is that the the motion sensor went off. Thankfully, Simply Safe Home Security is different. Basically, Simply Safe has elevated the level of security systems to a whole new level of greatness. If there is a break-in, Simply Safe will use real video evidence to give the police an eyewitness account of the crime that went down. So that means that the police don't have to actually wonder if something bad happened, they can actually see it for themselves, which is such a game changer. And that in turn means that police will dispatch up to 350% faster than the normal burglar alarm. You get comprehensive protection for your entire house. That's outdoor cameras and doorbells alert you to anyone approaching your home, and then entry, motion, and glass break sensors guard the inside of your house. It's 24/7 monitoring by live security professionals. And get this, it's only 50 cents a day with no contracts. That's right, I'm gonna say it again, 50 cents a day with no contracts. So guys, do me a favor and protect yourself. Visit simplysafe.com/advice, ADVICE. You'll get free shipping and a 60-day risk-free trial. You've actually got nothing to lose. Go now and be sure you go to SimplySafe, that's SimplySafe.com/advice, so they know our show sent you there. That's simplysafe.com/advice.
Okay, welcome back from the break. We are going to dive right into my story. This one, again, is called My Dream Guy, Now Forever Undateable. She begins, Hey, Ashley and Taryne.
Hi.
I wanted to start off by saying I love your podcast and thank you for making my incredibly boring work days a little more interesting, smiley face.
Honored.
We will be there for you for the work days for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. If you guys keep listening and telling your friends about us.
If you keep sharing us, we'll keep sharing
We're like
our time with you.
Tinkerbell. You have to believe or we'll die.
I do believe in fairies. I would like to remain anonymous, but for the sake of the story, you can call me Valerie. Hello, Valerie.
Hi, Valerie.
I'm not very active in the dating scene. Wow, common thread.
Girl.
It was a full circle right now. I feel like I am a very independent person that usually scares guys off. Wow.
Same.
Me?
I literally get told all the time that I'm intimidating, and I will never understand that because I'm like a teddy bear. I love
literally
everyone.
Since middle school, people have told me I'm intimidating, and I apparently have a resting bitch face because I'm a delight. I'm such a sweet person.
You
and
know what it
everyone
is,
is always like, it wasn't until we hung out that I realized you were cool, and I'm like, I'm just sitting over here.
It's
like,
because you are like, you're beautiful. You always have cute outfits on. You're always all put together. And then when you're uncomfortable, you kind of like
glaze
are a
over,
little bit stone faced. So that, like, as an outsider, I could see people being like, oh gosh, like she's scary.
Interesting.
Regina
just
George.
Jotting down some notes right now. Regina.
The way you said that, Regina.
You compared me to Regina.
I don't know.
It went from, oh, you're kind of like quiet and your face glazes over to Regina George.
You said, I'm sorry.
Regina's the worst.
She was just the first like
No
mean
one
girl
wants
because
to be
obviously the
Regina.
movie is titled Mean Girls.
Everyone wants to be Katie, not Regina.
Who's Katie?
Katie.
Caddy.
No, not Caddy. Everyone called her Caddy. Her name was Katie.
Oh. I'm going to have to rewatch.
Oh, jeez.
I feel like I'm right, but it's fine.
Katie with the C. It's not. It's Caddy. It's not Caddy. Okay, anyways, we digress from Mean Girls. We'll watch it later tonight so I can prove Taryne wrong. Wow, I was about to read the same thing over again. Anyways.
I love how you turned your face so like the camera couldn't see you, like you were ashamed.
Okay. And she's not very active in the dating scene. She's a very independent person that usually scares guys off. I'm also not very open with my emotions or feelings, as I usually feel better hiding them. I feel like it's important to know that I don't develop feelings for people easily, but when I do, I fall pretty hard. Anyway, I met this guy at university. You can call him Eric. Eric and I started talking one day about a band t-shirt I was wearing, and one thing led to another, and we became really good friends, to the point where we were talking every day and hanging out outside of our classes. And then I started crushing, ... Whoops. We just had so much in common. We both sung, played guitar, and were heavily involved in the music scene. We loved art and creating, and he supported my art and believed in my dreams for success. We both openly supported each other in each of our endeavors, and it felt so good to feel that kind of support. He also understood me in ways I have never felt, especially emotionally. That makes sense because he's a musician. Yeah. That's his like forte, guys.
Artsy.
I felt like we were so similar that we understood each other's flaws and lifted each other up when we were down. But I was so scared to ruin the friendship, so we only exclusively remained friends, and my feelings for him went unnoticed. It's harsh. I introduced Eric to my small group of friends from high school, and they all loved him.
Oh my gosh, that's
the worst.
So. It's so hard to get like the friends or like family on board. So when they love him, you're just like, dang it.
This group of friends included, we'll call her Brooke. Brooke was a girl that I had been friends with essentially since the dawn of time. Laughy face.
I have a prediction.
Me too. I met her on the first day of kindergarten, and we have been friends ever since. We have always ebbed and flowed together with our other relationships and friendships, but we always stayed very close. A few weeks later, I started talking to Eric about how my friends really like him and that we all want to start hanging out more. He said he thought that was great, and he thought that one of my friends was really, all caps, cute.
Oh
my heart sank. I asked him which one he was interested in, and he said Brooke.
No.
After that conversation, I started to not talk to Eric as much. And when we hung out with my friends from school, he would leave me and only hang out with Brooke. He would only talk about Brooke when we talked, and I felt that I was losing him to her when I was his friend first. It got worse when they started hanging out, just the two of them, and they got closer. Sadly, I got jealous. Then he asked her out, and they started dating. Ashley and Taryne, I don't know what to do. They are both still prominent in our high school friendship group, and I see both of them all the time. It's getting to the point where I'm starting to avoid hanging out with them at all costs because I feel like I'm starting to resent Brooke when I shouldn't. I never told anyone about my feelings for Eric, and Brooke wasn't any the wiser, so she never knew. I can't get angry at her because she's done nothing wrong, but now I know that Eric, my dream guy, is essentially forever undateable because he's dated one of my closest friends. And if they were to break up, it would just feel wrong to want to date him after the fact.
Girl code.
I don't want to lose either of them, though. So any advice on how to deal with this situation would be greatly appreciated. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Looking forward to hearing more of your podcast episodes throughout the new year. XO, Valerie.
Oh, Val.
I am not going to lie. That is a sucky situation.
when like someone talks about something, I feel like ever since I went through a horrible breakup, whenever someone talks about how they're going through a breakup and you see the pain in their face, I instantly want to throw up because I can feel what I felt and I just like my heart breaks for them. Mm-hmm. And there were so many times, like specifically, when you like a guy and you're talking to them and all of a sudden right in front of you they bring up another girl that they're into. The worst, you have to like control your face, right? To be like, oh, cool. And like, don't cry in front of them. Like, don't start acting weird. And your heart's being shattered like all at the same time. It is the actual like, I hate that situation. It's happened to me multiple times.
Yeah. I wouldn't compare it exactly because it wasn't a best friend, but I had a crush on this guy I was going to school with. And I remember realizing that this girl who was quickly becoming really close friends with liked him also. And I remember having a moment, I actually talked to Taryne about it. I remember having a moment where I was like, uh-oh. Because I was like, I mean, it was just like, oh, he's kind of cute. Like it wasn't anything serious, nowhere near as comparable as the story. But I remember realizing I was like, if I want to be her friend, this is not okay.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, okay, it's just a crush. I'm a peace out and I'm going to do the friendship route.
Yeah.
And that was a hard decision for me, but it also wasn't because I was more invested in the friendship.
Yeah.
What's hard here is she's clearly become best friends with both of them.
Yeah.
And there is a girl code and it's really hard. I'm not saying it's not an option because if this goes nowhere and it's kind of like a whatever relationship, sometimes girls don't care if you're open, but you have to be open and talking with him and just being like, hey, I'm not going to go after him, but I have to tell you I had a crush on him.
Yeah.
And then you kind of, I mean, it sucks, but it's like you kind of can't do anything about it because that was your best girlfriend. And
I feel like those situations never, and I think that's why she's like, he's forever undateable.
Yeah, I mean, the title makes sense once you read the whole story. It's like, oh, he really is. Because in my head, I was like, forever? I don't know. Forever. And then I read it and I was like, ooh, that's a no-go. No-go.
Well, there's like girl code, but there's also like, I don't think I could be with someone knowing that they like had made out with or like been intimate with like one of my closest friends. Like that would be really hard for me. And then also like every time if you guys did get together and then the girl comes around, I'd always be thinking like, does she affect you the way like I still get affected when my ex comes around? You know what I mean? So it's like so many areas where it like there's those blurry like it's like you kind of do have to pick one. Like, am I gonna pursue the friendship or the guy, like you were saying? But I just want to say, if you have a crush on someone, you need to tell everyone right away. Because there's so many people, I've heard the same thing where they're like, yeah, I was in love with this guy forever and then my friend started dating him, but I didn't tell her. It's like, just tell people if you're interested, like your close friends, like, which you should be confiding in them anyways about, like, who are you going to tell about crushes if not like your closest friends, you know?
I get that, but then I don't tell people either.
I know. I'm looking at you while I'm saying this.
I'm sitting here thinking of myself and I'm like, I probably wouldn't unless I like knew for sure that he might have feelings for me too.
But see, I would be so mad at you if like, say you liked this guy, right? I had no idea. So then something happens, we hit it off, right? And then I notice you're sad and you're like, well, I liked him. I would be like, why didn't you tell me? Because I'd want to know that because then I would have never even looked at him that way if I knew you even were slightly interested, you know? So I agree. I feel like friends would appreciate knowing. There is that chance that they're not going to care, which happens too.
No, I know just like I've read so many stories and I've had so many family members, friends, like and that live in smaller towns.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy. They've all dated each other.
Yes.
And
small circles. Yeah.
So I'm not saying it's not a possibility because it happens, but it can't happen, obviously, because they're together, but it can't happen if you're not communicating with your friend about it. Like there's no possible way. Like right now, there's no way because he's taken, she's your best friend. Your best friend comes first before him. And, that's just kind of like that's just the rules of engagement.
Yeah.
That's what we've got right now. Like you can't, but, I don't want you to like lose hope in love. And I don't think that it's completely unrealistic for there to be a possibility, but you have to work on speaking up for yourself. And also like you have to prioritize that friendship like no other. And she has to feel that if for some reason they broke up, then I mean, you would have to wait a long time before ever even
I don't think I could do it. Yeah.
So it's like, it depends on the friendship. You would have to work on talking about your emotions in front of her and you'd have to make it very clear to her that she's your like number one.
Yeah.
And that's the only way I could see it possibly happening. Other than that, like girl code's the rule and
I think you're safe to just move forward.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm a firm believer in things that are meant to happen work itself out, but I don't think you should live with that hope, you know? Like I think you move on, do your own thing. And I think for me, I know like there was one time like I had a really close guy friend that I started having feelings for. And same thing, like I thought it was mutual. And then all of a sudden he started talking to me about this girl he's been in love with forever. And they ended up starting to talk. And I remember I was like so sad. But what I started doing was like, look at how happy he is. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like I tried to shift the way I saw it and just being like, you know what? I care about him and this is what's making him happy. So like, I'm so happy that he's happy. Or with your friend, like, look at like she's having so much fun. She has always told me how she's like insecure about guys. So like look at her like feeling confident. Like I'm so happy for her.
Yeah.
And if you start to think like that and then, you know, at the end of the sentence be like, can't wait to find mine. You know what I mean? And like try to train your mind to be like, no, I'm going to feel positive towards them and positive towards this. I know it's a lot easier said than done. So if you need to give yourself space from them while you get to that point, I think that's normal. But like Ash said, like it might come to a point where you have to be honest with your friend and be like, hey, I'm so sorry. I've been being weird. Like I know I never said anything, but I kind of had feelings for him and I'm just trying to make sure that like I'm okay. Like sometimes you have to make a choice for yourself.
Yeah. And I think your friend would completely understand if you told her, not anyone else, but you were like, hey, I'm not going to be hanging out for a bit till I get my feelings under control. Yeah. Like I think that is a great way to start prioritizing that friendship and making it very clear to her, but while being vulnerable and saying, hey, like there were feelings, but like I'm locking them down and don't take it personally. Please help me make sure everyone else doesn't take it personally while I step away a little bit and like gather myself. Like I need a moment. She would feel very loved. She would feel like understood and appreciated and like respect even for you for doing that for her. You know what I mean?
And even because it is high school. So like high school, it's a little.
She said university.
Oh, I thought she said high school group.
They're friends from high school, but she's in college.
Okay. You also like, you don't have to specifically say like, oh, I had feelings for your boyfriend. You could say like, hey, for some reason, like, I don't know, I'm just kind of like having a hard time that you're in a relationship now because like, honestly, I just feel sad because it's something I like want to. So it's nothing against you, but like if I feel distant, like I think I just need some time to sort out what I'm feeling. So like if you're afraid to like bring it up because you don't want her to be like, you liked my boyfriend, you know what I mean? Then like there's other options too, but I think the most important thing is just acknowledging like, hey, I'm feeling weird for some reason and I love you as a friend, but if I feel distant, you know, I'm just working something else. Yeah. I'm working something out, you know?
Say funk. I always say I'm in a funk.
We say that to each other all the time.
And it's mostly because I don't know what the hell's going on in my head, but like I'm in a weird place and I don't know how to explain it. So you could just be like, hey, I'm in a mood.
I'm
like,
in a funk. Yeah.
I'm going to disappear for a bit, but I'll be back.
Yeah.
Hold my spot.
I love you. Hold my spot.
I'll be right back.
Don't let anybody sit in my seat. Yeah.
It's my spot.
No, I love that.
Yeah. And then I would just really like, there are like, it's so cliche. So many guys in this world. And
you need a palate cleanser.
I think a great way to start living the rest of your life. If you have a crush on a guy, like tell your friends, not everyone. Because I think that's what I hate to do. I hate telling people. Yeah. I can tell Taryne. Yeah. I can tell my sister. I hate making a spectacle and saying, ooh, he's cute, or like I have to have him or something like that. Like I don't know why it makes me feel weird. Yeah. So I can't. Like I physically cannot. But learn to start including people in your life on little things like that. And also maybe this can help you be a little bit bolder. I know it helps me be a little bit bolder.
Yeah.
Because life is that quick. And if you do like someone or love someone, like you should tell them.
Yeah, I agree.
So hopefully this is just one step in this growth life thing that we all live in for you. And hopefully it'll help you in the future. With the next guy, because there will be a next guy.
Oh, there will be. And you'll be surprised. It always surprises me how when a new guy comes in, how quickly like all of those feelings that I'm like, I'm going to feel like this forever. Like how fast those are like, bye.
They don't even fade. They just disappear. They're just gone. Yeah.
So
it's crazy.
I would say make sure you're healing, open yourself up and moveon.com because you deserve someone who's amazing and it doesn't take him forever to realize you're amazing.
I mean, freaking his loss. I mean, you know. Thank you, Valerie, for being so vulnerable and open with us and sharing that story. That was a very well-written story, by the way. I can tell you're an artsy girl.
We love an artsy girl.
So thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. If you haven't written us in yet,
do it.
And you've been listening since the beginning, I feel like it's time.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been time. I
Yeah.
feel like it's past time. You need to write us right now. I know you've got something
You
funny.
all know, like, you all listen to these things and you're like, oh, that one thing that happened to me would be funny to write in. Just do it.
Yeah.
Or if you suck at writing, you can send in just like bullet points and we'll just like, fill in the blanks.
Also, me and Taryne were talking about this the other day. If you guys have a story and you don't know how to word it, or you don't know how to write it, or you just hate writing in general, we will co-write it with you. Like, just in the email, be like, here's the gist of the story. I need your help writing it. That's all you got to say.
I mean, give us the freedom to do that because we don't want to like change what you're saying.
We will
but-
definitely have to like email you back and make sure we get all the details from you so we can help write it together. But we are not opposed to doing that. So if you have a story that is good, please just submit it. We want it. We want all of it. We need it now.
Yeah.
So please send it in.
Do it. I have a dad joke.
Yeah, you do.
And of course,
Can't end it without a
it's,
dad joke.
Love or Valentine's themed because
It better be.
fitting.
February.
February. Okay.
You said February weird.
I always say February.
You said fra.
Oh, but in my mind, I always say February because I've spelled it wrong so many times. English is hard, dude. Phonetically, it doesn't make sense. Okay. What you're gonna be proud of me because it's a pickle joke,
Really?
right? That's
Oh
like
my
you
gosh.
talking about a fart.
I mean, I did
She
it.
said, "Yeah." Okay. What did one pickle say to the other?
Something about dill.
Gosh, you are becoming one with the dad joke lingo.
Dill.
I'm so proud of you. You mean a great deal to me.
Yeah.
So good.
I'm proud of myself.
So good. All right, we love you all.
Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you guys in the next episode, which will be coming soon.
That was such a thank you for listening. Try again.
Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll be talking to you guys in the next episode, which will be coming soon.
Oh, we love you.
High pitched voices.
Yeah.
Bye.